change things. And it gave them a sense of voice, a sense of power, and a sense of true partnership with their caregiver in getting better. We are working with kids to measure their own media use, carrying around, first it was Palm Pilots and high-def video camcorders, now it's smartphones, and they are pinged at random intervals and asked, where are you, who are you with, what are you doing, are you using any media, what are you paying first, second, third most attention to, are you happy, sad, anxious, whatever. And interestingly enough, a 58-item survey that they come up in pings, and we've sent this to the National Institutes of Health to get funded, and they sent it back saying, there is no way, it's too much participant burden, these kids will spend hours, you'll never get anything from them. So we piloted it with 13 to 15-year-olds. 58-item survey, how long do you think it took them to complete it? 3 minutes, good guess. 1 minute, 22 seconds on average. These kids send 300 to 500 texts a day. Their thumbs move faster than your eyes do. So here's something that they shoot with the video.
Homework, weather, personal texting, and then I'm watching the Mythbusters.
So when they finish answering this survey, they shoot a 360-degree pan of where they are and what they're doing, because there's a lot of things we don't even notice when we ask questions that they're exposed to. And we're putting all these data together and finding out some really interesting things that are drilling down very deeply into those data that I presented at the beginning. For example, remember how we have this dose-response relationship between the amount of time you spend on screens and how much you are at risk for obesity? Well, that works fine with populations, but with individuals it doesn't, because as you remember, some of those kids who were watching a lot of screen time were also very active. What we found was it was the amount of time they were paying attention, primary attention to commercial television, that was the single driver of that. So it wasn't watching movies, it wasn't playing video games, it was watching TV that had commercials in it. And when was the last time you saw a commercial for broccoli? Right? What are the commercials for? Sugared cereals, candy, pizza, chips, all the stuff that is what we euphemistically call high caloric density, low nutritional value foods. Junk food. The other thing we're finding that's really interesting is because we're not just measuring how many hours of TV you watch or asking how much time did you spend on the internet, but we're actually measuring what they're doing moment to moment and with multitasking, et cetera, is those kids who have the most access to media devices, who spend the most time on them and who multitask the most, are at the highest risk during this very vulnerable period for starting to drink alcohol. And we originally thought, back when we were studying it in terms of duration and like how we studied the smoking stuff, that it was because they're exposed to sort of risk-free, fun, sexy portrayals of drinking alcohol. Well, it may be that, but it also may be what we're seeing is that media is a stimulus. They're seeking sensation, and whether that sensation is from video games or the internet or television or a shot of vodka, they're getting it one way or the other. So we may be finding that sensation seekers are using media in these kind of very intense involvement ways. What we need to do is help them learn to use them, not throw the TV out the window, not get rid of the internet, but to help bring to them our experience, our executive functions, to train them how to live in this environment the same way we train them how to live in the real world. We don't send them to a party with people we don't know, where we don't know what's going to be there. We don't hand them the keys to the car when they turn 16 automatically. We help them learn to use those tools in ways that are safe and healthy and effective. And this was the product of taking a bunch of middle school and high school kids, these girls were 13 years old, and spending a semester with them where they learned how to read media, how to deconstruct it, how to break it down, to understand how those pizza commercials affected and influenced them. And then they conceived, wrote, storyboarded, shot, directed, and acted in, and shot this in the space of one class period. That was the condition they had. And they learned to not just read media effectively, but to write in it. and they became truly literate in the sense that, you know, it used to be the 3 R's. Well, now we're getting all this information, not from written print media, but from something that we are, most of us, functionally illiterate to. And so when you give them the tools, they can do phenomenal things. And I like leaving it with the kids, because ultimately this is their world. This is their future. And what we're here to do is to help them get to that future in as safe and healthy a way as possible. So thank you for listening, and I'll answer questions if you wish.